Hunter Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden, who has become a key figure, in the House impeachment inquiry against President Trump. At the center of that, President Trump asking the Ukrainian president to investigate Hunter Biden and his father. Amy is here with all of us. Good morning, Amy.
Yeah, good morning, Rob. And it is safe to say Hunter Biden never expected to be in this position, a focal point of an impeachment inquiry as his father makes a run for the White House. When I sat down with him at his home in Los Angeles, no questions were off limits, including ones about his foreign business dealings that have been the target of attacks by President Trump.
By the way, whatever happened to Hunter? Where the hell is he?
Hunter Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden, has found himself at the center of a political firestorm.
Where's Hunter?
Where is Hunter?
Where is Hunter?
He's right here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm working and I'm living my life.
President Trump says you're in hiding.
Hiding in plain sight, I guess. Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all.
No, not at all. He looks down. Yeah, he kind of is. He's very still, not really moving. He's anchored on the countertop. He is giving eye movements, which is why when he says, no, not at all, and he goes down, yes, he is. Yes, he is. You have an emotional attachment to that. And we wouldn't call it like, he's literally trying to hide. More of the mind is trying to quiet down attention to himself. That kind of hiding. Now, before we get too far into this, remember, even though people don't like to say it, or at least in polite society, don't want to admit it, he is of a political class. They do things that you and I don't get to do. They see the world from that perspective. Because you and I cannot tell some president of some country that you better hire me or I'm not going to give you money. That is a different arena. So when you look at him, and you'll more than likely see that's part of his culture, that's part of his DNA, he's going to have the body language of that. There won't be wrongdoing in the mindset. It'll just be the mind trying to navigate a landscape, much like you would if your dog all of a sudden started talking to you and lambashing you to the rest of the animals in the house. Why don't I get my very own bed with blanket sheets and covers and my own pillow?
Biden and his son are stone cold crooked.
The president has been on the rampage, accusing 49-year-old Biden of improperly profiting on business interests in Ukraine while his father was vice president and the point person on Ukraine, taking a seat on the board at $50,000 a month with a gas company called Burisma, which had been accused of corruption.
Did you and your father ever discuss Ukraine?
No. As I said, the only time was after a news account. It wasn't a discussion in any way. There's no but to this. No, we never did.
Your dad said, I hope you know.
Well, this is a very open-ended question. Did you and your dad ever discuss Ukraine? No. And he's looking away and he's looking around. A little bit all over the map. At the same time, he's very controlled and he's very stiff. And since it is really an open-ended question and we don't get to see the beforehand because this is Movie Magic TV where there's cuts and everything, we don't know where the mind was with this Ukraine discussion. Did your dad ever discuss Ukraine? They could have been talking prior to this question about him being on the board on the after effect. We have no idea. So this question is too open for us to decide what's going on. All we can say is that he's being honest. No, but we don't know what the no is to.
What you're doing?
I hope you know what you're doing.
I do.
And I said, I do. And that was literally the end of our discussion.
Why?
Because my dad was vice president of the United States. There's literally nothing as a young man.
So as we watched a little bit there, he's petting himself. He's got a lot of stress in the forehead. We're seeing a lot of stress. And mind you, Biden is not the TV guy. It's not like he's doing this on a daily basis. So this would be stressful event in and of itself. TV, if you're not used to it, gives you stress. Being interviewed gives stress. So we're going to see that underlying stress through the whole thing.
Or as a full-grown adult that my father in some way hasn't had influence over. It does not serve either one of us.
When he said, I hope you know what you're doing, what did he think you were doing?
Well, he read the press reports that I joined the board of Burisma, which was a Ukrainian natural gas company. And there's been a lot of misinformation about me, not about my dad. Nobody buys that. But
yeah, it cut too much there. We didn't even actually get to even see anything. There's been a lot of misinformation, okay, about me, and then it cuts. It's too much.
But it buys this idea that I was unqualified to be on the board.
What were your qualifications to be on the board of Burisma?
Well, I was vice chairman of the board of Amtrak for 5 years. I was the chairman of the board of the UN World Food Program. I was a lawyer.
He's being really tight there. That was actually really telling. I was Amtrak for 4 or 5 years. He's really tight, and he's actually just slightly leaning forward and head looking out like a downward motion. It's memorized. So now we're starting to realize that maybe not all of this, but some of it is prepared questions, prepared answers. And that's what he gives. His resume. He starts to begin to give his resume.
Lawyer for Boies Schiller Flexner, one of the most prestigious law firms in the world.
You didn't have any extensive knowledge about natural gas or Ukraine itself, though.
No, but I think that I had as much knowledge as anybody else that was on the board, if not more.
In the list that you gave.
And there you go. For the first time, we hear something in the background. I don't know if you could hear that, but somebody in the background yelled out. And I'm going to assume it was a lawyer. And you just get like the smitten of it. It sounded like they were beginning to say sorry.
If not more.
And they were objecting to something because of the tone.
If not more.
Of course, another cut. And then she switches to a new question. He doesn't finish the answer.
Any of the reasons why you're on that board. You did not list the fact that you were the son of the vice president.
Yeah. No.
What role do you think that played?
I think that it is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
You were paid $50,000 a month for your position?
Look, I'm a private citizen. One thing that I don't have to do is sit here and open my kimono as it relates to how much money I make or did or didn't. But it's all been reported.
Because he makes a lot. They're swaying. Believe me, look, a lot of stress in the face. And with the sway, apparently it's a lot.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life that if...
And he's still comforting himself in his hands. This is becoming really just a scripted talking points.
My last name wasn't Biden.
Why did you leave the board in April?
It's a 5-year term.
And you chose not to
I chose
continue.
not to. Yeah.
Why?
I think it's pretty obvious why.
This is your opportunity to say why.
Well, because this is what becomes a distraction, because I have to sit here and answer these questions. And so that's why I'm committed that I won't serve on any boards or...
So he sit there and say, I wanted to sit there and see if he'd actually go through the why, other than the little hop. It's obvious why. That's that scoff. The mentality of, oh, I've been objected to by the populace who's upset about me getting a sweet deal via my dad, who's vice president, who threatened if I didn't, they wouldn't get their money. And there's no wrongdoing in the thought process.
I won't work directly for any foreign entities when my dad becomes president.
Do you think that should...
Ooh, that was stress. That was too much stress. We go back.
Questions. And so that's why I'm committed that I won't serve on any boards or I won't...
So we have the one eye coming really closed. And it's a lot of stress, tightness in that. And he's talking about not working on any foreign boards while his father is president.
Work directly for...
And then we hear the my favorite, the song. So the brain stuttered because it's not agreeing with what the mouth is saying.
Any foreign entities when my dad becomes president.
And he kind of stuttered that through but he doesn't say the song. It's just very short words.
Do you think that should be...
Which makes me sit there and think that this is a sacrifice he doesn't like, not being able to work on foreign boards. There's probably a lot of money in it, I'm assuming. You have to pay to play the game. It would be very lucrative for Biden's son to be on a board because that means that company has access to Biden himself if he's president. And of course, the middleman always gets a kickback.
A rule across the board for any administration?
No, look, that's the rule that I'm going to adhere to.
Do you regret being on the board to begin with?
No, I don't regret being on the board. What I regret is not taking into account that there would be a Rudy Giuliani and a president of the United States that would be listening to this ridiculous conspiracy idea.
Okay, so out of his own mouth, you don't even need body language for this one. He's being really honest with you. He didn't expect there would be a Rudy Giuliani pushing this conspiracy against him. The one where his father said on television that he threatened to take money if they didn't fire such and such that was going after his son. So we see him sit there and go through his body motions on this Rudy Giuliani thing and conspiracy. He moves a lot more. His body loosened up because that's truth to him.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers, where Mandy teaches more about her techniques of deception detection. There's also other content such as the Crime series and Interesting Minds series, available to both Gold and Silver subscribers.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.